Here now, Andrij Dobriansky, Director of Communications with the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. Good morning to you. Thanks for your time on this Labor Day. The latest comments from Vladimir Putin, how much weight do you think those carry?
More important is the comments of his spokesperson, who made it very clear that there was no agreement in Russia's eyes to have any kind of bilateral or trilateral meeting, either with Zelensky or Zelensky and President Trump. That's the stated position by Russia. What President Putin did in that summit meeting with the other leaders was he kept repeating the word Nadia, Nadia. I have hopes that things would happen. I have hopes that things would happen. So in terms of what they actually mean, I value what his spokespeople are telling, which is that there was no agreement to have a meeting and that the White House is basically back to square one.
So how does the calculation strategy-wise look from here? What do you expect from the administration in response?
Well, from the Ukraine side, at least in popular media in Europe and in Ukraine, the question is that we've approached this 50-day deadline that was launched after the NATO secretary met with President Trump in the Oval Office. We're also at 174 days since Ukraine agreed to a unilateral ceasefire in terms of President Trump's request. So again, I say the White House is back to square one. They have no steps forward with Russia. What they do have steps forward with is this coalition of the willing in Europe. And just on Friday, there was a high-level delegation, including the Prime Minister of Ukraine, the Chief of Staff of President Zelensky, who met with Steve Witkoff. And in response to a request by President Trump in the Oval Office with Zelensky last week, they prepared a detailed plan of how security guarantees could work across this 1,000-mile border.
In the meantime, we're looking at more of the recent strikes, Andrij, that have happened across Ukraine, some as recently in Kyiv, targeting apartment buildings. The number of killed has risen, including children. What can you tell us about the level of threat against Ukraine right now in some of these major cities?
Right. What happened in Kyiv on the 28th, that was the second largest aerial strike against Ukraine that has happened since the war began. The top 5 have all happened since June, July, and August of this year. So it means that this war is not where we were last year. It has actually increased under this administration, Donald Trump. We need to be working towards something. I also specifically want to mention, because my colleague is having a funeral tomorrow, the former Speaker of the House, the Speaker of Parliament in Ukraine, was assassinated in the street blatantly on Saturday morning. So we are not only seeing an increase in aerial attacks, in drones and glide bombs, but possibly now a Rubicon has been crossed where political leaders, this was a sitting member of parliament, was assassinated in the street. This is something, as Congress comes back to session, that I'm sure they're going to be very concerned about. They don't want to see that kind of escalation. That reflects on their position as well and their safety.
Incredibly troubling news, and I'm sorry to hear that. What more can you tell us about that attack specifically that's been released?
Thankfully, Operation Siren has located a suspect 2 states away from where the killing happened. That suspect is being questioned now. There was a press conference this morning stating that he was arrested, and they are questioning him, specific charges for the assassination and for holding an illegal weapon. But the main thing is the fact that this happened so openly. 8 shots in the middle of a street. The person was dressed as a delivery driver and came up on this. The former Speaker of the House, he is a sitting member of Parliament on his way to the gym as he walks the same street 3 times a week. And it's really troubling to see something like that happen, very similar to the kind of political assassinations Russians have become used to in terms of what Putin has done within his own country, extending his fear now to other countries. But the response from Kyiv has been people gathering en masse to lay tribute to this person, not just today at the wake at the Central Cathedral of Western Ukraine in Lviv, but also massive remembrance of him on the streets of Kyiv tomorrow, where he was a leader during the Maidan Revolution.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing it to our attention as the news develops out of Ukraine with these latest comments from Putin. Andrij, as always, appreciate your time, sir.